the fact that I even went to college is a surprise, right? Because my dad being a musician, he wanted me to follow in his entertaining footsteps. And then he started building and had a construction company, Barrett and Sons Construction. And I actually thought that's where I was going to go, right? College, too expensive, not something that I thought was important to get ahead in life until it's a funny story in terms of I wasn't dating this girl, but I spent a lot of time with her and her family. They lived on the other side of the pond. I grew up on a pond, so I had my little boat, and she was attractive, and I went over and spent a lot of time talking to her and someone over my sophomore and junior year. And my junior year, her old man pulls me aside and says, "All right, Tom, where are you going to school?" And I said, I'm not planning on going to school." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, really." He goes, "Listen, you like football?" I said, "Who doesn't?" "You like college football?" I said. He goes, "Here's a couple of tickets, BC, go up and check it out. I think you'll like the school." I said, "Oh, great, right? It's a free trip." Apparently he was the athletic director for Boston College, right? And so when I got there, he did more than just give me a couple tickets, right? He had a couple of the football players take me around the campus, introduce me around, and it's like, holy Toledo. I didn't expect any of that, right? And so I decided maybe college is something I should do. And so I applied to BC and I got in. Shocking. Well, part of the program at BC is that as part of the core curriculum, before you make a decision on what you want to do, believe it or not, at that time, computer science was a core course, right? And so, of course, I had to take the class, not knowing what was entailed, what was going to be, et cetera, et cetera. And this guy, I'll never forget, Jack Newhouser, who later became the dean of the School of Management for Boston College, was the professor. And he had a way of explaining and portraying things that I really understood. I mean, he spoke to me. And I got it. Solving the problems, doing the homework, I didn't view as homework at all. And people I was in class with were having a terrible time trying to work with it. And I figured, okay, I think this might be something I want to spend more time on. And I did. And then when we had to decide about what the major is going to be, I think you had to do that in the sophomore year. Whilst I wanted to do technology, I didn't know enough about it as being a profession. And someone told me a long time ago, follow the money, right? And I figured, okay, so I'm going to get a job that followed the money. And I didn't know quite what that meant, but I figured accounting, where you'd be counting money, that sounds like follow the money. So I dual degree in computer science and accounting. And boy, so it's purely happenstance. I had no desire to go to college, right? I go because someone suggested it wouldn't hurt. Then I take these classes and I'm just enamored with them. And even the accounting side, that seemed to be something I could really do really well. Though I never envisioned myself being a CPA. For some reason, that suit was just too tight. But I figured I'd go to, and I ended up working at Coopers and Lybrand, where they had identified this as being a job, computers and accounting, and the rest is history in terms of carrying that forward. So I didn't have a burning desire. I wasn't a tech geek when I was in college. I mean, or even when I was in high school, I was a geek. I mean, I liked technology, but we were doing things differently. We were taking our chemistry, that little chemistry kit you get, right, and trying to, make things or burn things down or create bombs with your train set. So those are the kind of geeky things I did, and so I transferred that geekiness into the technology and accounting. And while those two, technology and accounting, seem to be completely different perspectives, they merged into something that I really found exciting, and to the point where I felt it be a privilege to go to work every day. I really loved what I did. I really loved what I did. We had these two different perspectives come together, and it created a career for me. And I really love what I did. And I also was trying to learn as many things as I could, whether it was and I wasn't industry focused. I worked for a couple of years implementing software in into states and cities. I was doing stuff in the manufacturing in terms of inventory management. And then I even seconded to Australia for 2 years. And the reason for me to second to Australia was I had my eye on being a partner. And I didn't have the white shoes. I didn't come from a background that my dad's a musician, right? not a business person, right? And so I needed to find a way to break myself from the image they already had of me, because I was a boisterous kind of guy. We went for beers after work, and kind of like a hurrah boy kind of thing. And I needed to change that. And so by being in Australia for a couple of years, I worked on presentation skills. I worked on being really focused on getting business. Being big on development of work opportunities. And so when I came back, mind you, I got hired in 78. I came back from Australia in 86. And I gave myself a very short window in terms of either I'm going to knock it out of the box, not knock it out of the park or not. And so I really came and attack generating business. And I was fortunate that in the 10 years from when I started to 1988 is when I was admitted to the partnership, which was considered a very quick path, 10 years. Usually you had to have some specialty, a tax specialty, MBA, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't have any of that. I just had the ability to work in the space that no one else could, technology and business.